friends, welcome back to Kivdanti. In today's episode, we are going to read The Gift of the Magi. $1.87. That was all, and 60 cents of it was in pennies. Pennies saved one and two at a time by bulldozing the grocer and the vegetable man and the butcher until one's cheeks burned with the silent imputation of parsimony that such close dealing applied. Della counted it 3 times, $1.87, and the next day would be Christmas. There was clearly nothing to do but flop down on the shabby little couch and howl. So Della did it. Now, let's have a look at the home. In the vestibule below was a letter box into which no letter would go and an electric button from which no mortal finger could coax a ring. Appertaining to that, there was a card bearing the name Mr. James Dillingham Young. Della finished her cry and attended to her cheeks with a powder rag. She stood by the window and looked out dully at the grey cat walking a grey fence in the grey background. Tomorrow would be the Christmas day, and she had only $1.87 with which she had to buy Jim a present. She had been saving every penny she could for months. With this result, $20 a week does not go far. Expenses had been greater than she had calculated. They always are. There was a pier glass between the windows of the room. Perhaps you have seen pier glasses in an $8 flat. A very thin and very agile person may, by observing his reflection in a rapid sequence of longitudinal strips, obtain a fairly accurate conception of his looks. Della, being slender, had mastered the art. Suddenly, she whirled from the window and stood before the glass. Her eyes were shining brilliantly, but her face had lost its color. Within 20 seconds, rapidly, she pulled down her hair and let it fall to its full length. Now there were two possessions of the James Dillingham Youngs in which they both took a mighty pride. One was Jim's gold watch that had been his father's and his grandfather's. The other was Della's hair. So now Della's beautiful hair fell about her rippling and shining like a cascade of brown waters. It reached below her knee and made itself almost like a garment for her. And then she did it up again, nervously and quickly. Once she faltered for a minute and stood still while a tear or two splashed on the worn red carpet. On went her old brown jacket, on her old brown hat with a whirl of skirts, and with the brilliant sparkles still in her eyes, she fluttered out the door and down the stairs to the street. The place where she stopped, the sign read, Madame Sofroni, hair goods of all kinds. One flight up, Della ran and collected herself, panting. Madam, large, too white, chilly, hardly looked the Sofroni. Will you buy my hair? Asked Della. Oh, and the next 2 hours tripped by on rosy wings. Forget the hashed metaphor. She was ransacking the stores for Jim's present. She found it at last. It was a platinum fob chain, simple and chaste in design, properly proclaiming its value by substance alone and not by metriculous ornament, as all good things should do. It was like Jim. Quietness and value. The description applied to both. $21 they took from her for it, and she hurried home with the 87 cents. When Della reached home, her intoxication gave way a little to prudence and reason. She caught her curling iron and lighted the gas and went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity, added to love. Within 40 minutes, her head was covered with tiny, close-lying curls that made her look wonderfully like a truant schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully and critically, If Jim doesn't kill me, she said to herself, before he takes a second look at me, he'll say I look like Coney Island chorus girl. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87? At 7 o'clock, the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. Jim was never late. Della doubled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. Then she heard his step on the stair away down on the first flight, and she turned white for just a moment. She had a habit of saying little silent prayers about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered, "Please God, make him think I'm still pretty." The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow. He was only 22 and to be burdened with a family. He needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. Jim stepped inside the door. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read. It terrified her. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she had been prepared for. He simply stared at her fixedly with that peculiar expression on his face. Della wriggled off the table and went for him. "Jim, darling," she cried, "don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I could not have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. It will grow out. You won't mind, will you? I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim. And let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I've got for you." "You've cut off your hair?" asked Jim laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet, even after the hardest mental labor. "Cut it off and sold it," said Della. "Don't you like me just as well anyhow? I am me without my hair, ain't I?" Jim looked about the room curiously. "You say your hair is gone," he said with an air almost of idiocy. "You need not look for it," said Della. "It's sold, I tell you, sold and gone too. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me, for it went for you." Out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He enfolded his Della. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. "Don't assume that about me, Dell," he said. "I don't think there's anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less. But if you'll unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first." Della nimbly tore the string and the paper with white fingers and gave out an ecstatic scream of joy, for there lay the combs, the set of combs side and back that Della had worshipped. Long in a Broadway window, beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with jeweled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and earned over them without the least hope of possession. And now they were hers. But the tresses that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." And then Della leaped upon like a little singed cat and cried, "Oh, oh." Jim had yet not seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull, precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. "Isn't it dandy, Jim? I hunted all over the town to find it. You'll have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. "Dell," said he, "let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while. They're too nice to use just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy you the combs." This chapter was The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry.